It's episode 1248, and it's a relevant podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Minor.
What up, though?
And we have just one artist, producer, mogul this week, because just down the street there is our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
Marty is off this week, so there you go.
I could be a mogul if I wanted to. I just don't want
Sure
to.
could.
I like
Sure
that.
could.
I also don't have the talent, but other than that, once I get the talent and ambition, I could do it.
The NBA playoffs are happening right now, and literally I saw an interview this morning with a player on the Memphis Grizzlies who got swept, and the player from the Memphis Grizzlies said literally, if John Morant hadn't gotten hurt in Game 3, we had him right where we wanted him, and we think we would have won. Okay, that's what it sounds like when you're saying, I could have been a mogul.
Nah, Emily can be a mogul. She can be a mogul.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I just don't know about a music mogul. I think that's the...
That's fair.
That's what I was talking
music,
about.
Oh, okay, yeah, music mogul, yeah.
I'm sorry, I was talking about a music mogul specifically. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
You could have been
Never said
successful in
music.
any other thing. I'm sorry. All
Yeah.
right.
I think, knowing Emily, I think there's no question. She can be any kind of mogul she wants. But I do think, look, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Not everyone wants mogul pressure, okay?
True.
Mogul,
True.
that's a lot of heat come being mogul.
But hold on, this is a thing though. This is happening right now. People are like, we could have beat Oklahoma City if we just wanted to, but we chose not to. I could have been a mogul. I could beat a gorilla with 99 of my friends,
Yes.
if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like the internet is all about this like weird confidence right now, I feel like.
Well, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because there's been perhaps nothing that's occupied my thoughts more.
I felt like you might have had some thoughts about
in
the
the
100
last-
people.
in the
Could
last
100 men
several
beat a
days.
gorilla? Yeah.
It's my favorite thought experiment. You guys know me, I'm a big thought experiment guy. Okay. I love them. I just love thinking about scenarios and plausibilities of them. And for people who somehow don't know, even though they may have not seen the AI interactive videos, they haven't seen different plans about different waves of attackers and strategies. The big debate online right now is, could 100 men with their bare hands at one time take down a silverback gorilla? Like if this was a death match, who would win, the silverback gorilla versus 100 men? Now, when this debate first emerged, the conventional thinking, because some sort of wildlife person said it's absolutely preposterous to think that 100 men could take down a silverback gorilla. They would rip people limb from limb. And listen, silverbacks are insanely strong. We know that, right?
Right.
And two, trust me, I spent a lot of time thinking about this. Two, think about it theoretically. Let's say you're one of these 100 men and the silverback's distracted and you get close enough. What are you doing that could possibly, even repeatedly, be fatal to the silverback gorilla? What, are you going to punch it to death? A silverback gorilla? You know how thick those skulls are? As I'm thinking about this, I'm giving all the advantages in my head to the silverback here.
Mhm.
Last night, as I lay in bed, unable to fall asleep because the scenario is running through it, I've determined that the 100 men could in fact beat the silverback.
What?
All
Yeah.
right.
How?
Put me on.
Well, first I was scrolling Twitter and I saw a zoologist chime in who said, people underestimate how docile they are, that they're not easily provoked. Then I was thinking, if the 100 men, because one of the AI simulated videos that I watched was just the 100 men just kind of running aimlessly and the silverback just picking them off one by one. If the 100 men strategically did like a swarm and just surrounded it, unless the gorilla broke out some sort of spinning helicopter move,
Which I've seen them do.
I have. You've seen a gorilla do a spinning helicopter?
It might have been CGI and
No,
like
you saw the meme where the gorilla. I saw the one you talk about where he's spinning in the cage. He's
yeah.
yeah.
Dude, okay, first of all, I have some, as you know, I've told this story a couple times over the last 15 years. I have some firsthand experience with a silverback gorilla.
All right, tell me why I'm wrong here, that the 100 men, because I'm on 100 man team right now. So convince me I'm wrong.
Okay, well, first of all, if 100 men were to be successful, it would be like the old-timey battle front lines things where you're sacrificing the first 75% of human life to wear down the gorilla so the last 20 guys might be able to crawl up on them and just wear them down.
I think that's the worst strategy, by the way.
But I'm saying, like, that's the only scenario I could see was you just tire them out, and at the end, yeah. Anyway, okay. But in 2008, so this is a long, long time ago, found myself at the end of a trip to Africa. We visited the last mountain where there were where silverbacks were living in the wild. Right. And it was the same mountain where Jane Goodall did all of her research, her ape research. And you basically, they don't know where they are. There's kind of spotters around the mountains, but you have 2 guards with you, military guards with machine guns on the front and back of your hiking group. And you just basically go up the mountain and you look for them. And so you may find them in the first 10 minutes and you may find them 7 hours later, like my group. So we hiked thousands of feet up this mountain. It was a rainforest. It was slippery. It was whatever. Okay. So we finally come to a clearing and there's the family, right? So the docile thing, they were all asleep. So the silverback was asleep. A couple of the mothers were asleep and they were in the edge of a clearing. So I have all this photo gear with me and there's probably 5 people in our group plus the 2 military guys. And we all kind of like, they're like, be very quiet and stuff. But I have photo gear. So I kind of like break off from the group and I go about like 20 feet to the left to get a good camera angle.
That was a white decision.
And what we didn't know is that a couple of toddlers and another mother were out getting food. They had already been awake. So they weren't.
These are toddler mother silverback gorillas, not.
Well, the male are silverback, but they're all gorillas. Yeah. Toddler. Okay. The toddlers would be 300 pounds.
Okay.
The full gorilla is like 8 feet, 850 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's asleep. 2 mothers are asleep. I'm by myself in this other part of the clearing. The toddlers start running back to where the family was. And the noise rustles the silverback and he opens his eyes and he sees me. And he's startled. And he rears up and he charges me. I'm probably about 40 feet away from him. And he runs full speed to about 5 feet in front of me, stands on his hind 2 legs, full height, beats his chest and roars to scare me away. Okay. The guards I see in my peripheral vision are shoving our hiking group into the bush. Like basically he's a goner. Right. Yeah. And so I see that I am literally by myself and they screamed to me, don't move. And they ran. Okay. So I'm standing there by myself with this gorilla reared up, beating his chest and screaming at me. Right. He stood there. I froze. He sniffs me, realizes I'm not a threat because, they're vegetarians. So like I'm not food. He's
or
only
you smelled really bad. I mean, there's
so he
option.
Smells me. I'm not a threat.
He smelled fear and feces and piss.
Dude, he lost interest, walks back to where he came from and laid back down. But by then the kids had arrived and the kids are like rambunctious 2-year-olds and they're running around high energy doing a figure 8 around a tree and me. So I'm like a tree and they're playing tag or something full speed running around. Like they could have like knocked me over. Right. Anyway, so I'm standing there by myself. I get ingratiated into the gorilla family kind of, and I get these great pictures and all this kind of stuff. And I have a good story, but I am telling you, I'm standing in front of a gorilla. There is no way any number of men without weapons could hurt this thing in any way, shape or form. I asked the guards, if he would have attacked me, would you have shot him? And he said, no, they're protected. The machine guns are for poachers. Like in case we came across any poachers on the mountain, we would kill because it's on the Kenya and Uganda and Congo border. Mm. And the poachers come from the Congo side and they kill the juveniles and they kill this, for their teeth and different things. So the guns were for poachers, not to protect me from the actual gorilla. I almost died. Well, I'm telling you, there's no way 100 men could take this thing down without weapons.
I thought about that when you was trying to get that side angle picture.
quick response to the story before before I proposed my theory.
Uh-huh.
But the response to the story is obviously I'm glad you're still here. But
Thank you.
if you have been murdered by that gorilla, people would still be talking about it. Like generations from now, like
the American who got mauled by the gorilla,
or just people in your own family be like, "Yeah, what's the most interesting fact about you? My great grandfather was murdered by a gorilla, and then the children danced around his body."
Oh no, you'd be a meme. You'd be a meme for sure.
No one would ever stop talking about that. It would forever. You would, like I said, for generations, your family would be like, dude, you're not going to believe it, man. A guy in my family got murdered by a freaking gorilla. It would be so, but I'm glad you're still here. But the other thing I was thinking, like,
what could have been? What great bar stories?
Yeah, you had a good story. It could have been a great story.
Yeah,
I think
true,
what Jesse's saying.
true.
But what about this scenario? Is 100 like, because I think the average 100 average men, there's no way, right? But what if they're one? What if it's 100 MMA fighters? And two, if it's not 100 men, there is some number. Like, is it 1,000?
Well, then it's only because you're wearing him down at that point.
But I'm saying, if it's not 100, what number is it? There is a number of average men that can take down a silverback, and it might. When I started thinking about 100 is a lot. Like, what is the number?
100 is a lot.
Is it 1,000 though? Is it 1,000 for the 100 haters? What is the number? That's what I would propose to you, Cameron. Saying 100 aren't taken down. What is? There's got to be a number.
In my opinion, the only thing that could take. Yes, they are docile, but I saw the fierce ferociousness of when he's protecting his family or his kids, and like I feel like if he felt that the 100 men were threatening his family and he went into savage mode. I mean, dude, their fangs are 9 inches long. I mean, like, he could literally pick up a grown man and throw him like a rag doll or rip him in half.
It's a compelling argument, but is it 200, 300, 1,000?
That's what I'm saying. The number is just you're wearing him down at that point. So whatever the number is, he's killed all these people and he's tired. And you can kind of like sucker punch him, then fine. But 500 people? I don't know.
No, you're still not going to be able to.
No, it'd be like 10 men on top of him. No. It'd be 10 men on top of him at one time, choking him and poking his eyes out and all that kind of stuff. Like, you crawled up on him. But he's got to be so tired by that point, he lets you.
And it easily has to be 500 plus. Because it's like you said, like, if it's wearing him out, like, he can, but okay,
has to.
Here's the thing. It's not, because we're talking about like, he'll be worn out. Like, he's not getting worn out every time he fights someone, because he can punch one person and they're probably dead. So we're getting through those people pretty quickly.
Are you over under 500 here? Because that's where it's standing right now.
I'm under 500. 500 is okay. We're talking an army. Like, you know
that's what I'm saying. We're talking one gorilla.
Stand next to him, dude.
I'm not as far as I'm not 500.
But
for
hand-to-hand combat, like, again.
Yeah, we're not talking weapons, swords, anything like that. We're talking
essentially
muscles.
trying to punch him to death.
But bro, think about this.
You're going for an eyeball. Right, that's all you got.
If everybody got one punch in, that's 200. That's 100 punches.
But I think more than half are not getting one punch, and even if they are, they're not clean.
But I'm saying, and then it just depends. Now, this the thing I would say. If we're going out there with me, Jesse, Emily, and Cameron,
Emily's not a part of this. It is men only,
and that is the rank of man. I think we're screwed. Like, it's over with.
Right.
But if we're going out there with John Jones,
the guy who does the Reacher, the guy who played Goliath in the David movie.
So you're saying you could draft? You could have
it depends on the caliber of man.
You could have a draft of all living men.
Yeah. It's like you got to remember that there's guys that fight for a living. That is all they do is fight people. Like,
they don't fight 850 pounds of muscle.
But they fight for a living, so they know how to fight. They know how to punch.
They know how to hurt a human.
You can't tell me.
The gorilla also knows how to punch.
Listen, 300 Spartans took out an army.
Of
300
of men.
This one gorilla.
With weapons.
With
300,
weapons.
like, with weapons, but still, y'all, come on, like. The upper echelon. I'm just what I'm saying. I'm on the fence. I just love the argument.
So Derek is saying between 1 and 500.
I'm not saying between 1 and 500.
He's saying 100 Supermen.
I'm saying if you give me 100, if you give me 100 of our best,
NFL guys, linemen, NFL linemen
that know how to fight. You got to remember, you can still choke a gorilla. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
have you seen? They don't have a neck. It's straight, huge head, right to traps.
You could gouge out eyes. You could do.
That's the only thing I think you get is you wear him down. Somebody crawls up back and gets his eyeballs.
There's 100 of you.
Yeah, you're doing the ladder system on somebody's shoulders.
Some of you are taking. They're 7-foot human beings. Like,
but they're all skinny. Like, they're skinny. Yeah.
But guys,
you get broken in half.
Guys, it's not a foregone conclusion that 100 of the best of humans are gonna just get the floor wiped with them with the gorilla.
See, like, I think you throw a Shannon Sharp out there, and he's gonna get his knees taken out. You know what I mean? Like there's an Achilles heel, a metaphorical Achilles heel to any large human fighter.
I don't think it's about size. I think you want the more. I think you want the smaller, like old school, like Conor McGregor types that are kind of.
Here's another thing I would say too. This is another thing I think that we're underestimating is that humanity is the best at killing things. Like it's just look at our planet. Everything's dead because of us. Like
they don't have any of us in their zoos.
So this is the thing I'm saying.
Because we have weapons.
So humanity's the best at killing things. But here's another thing: you cannot underestimate what people will do when they're in a survival tactic. Like.
What the gorilla? The gorilla is in a survival tactic.
But you also have 100 people that are fighting for their life. So you can't tell me that there's not a man that's going to bite a gorilla's Achilles.
Isn't the entire
you're not going to tell me that.
Isn't the entire movie The Planet of the Apes about this? And don't the apes take over?
Yeah, with ease.
But there's a planet of them.
But it took a whole planet.
There's a lot of them.
Who's the guest, Cameron?
It's not 1v100.
Gracie Binion is coming up.
Is there any chance we could quickly ask her to come on next week so we can get a zoologist or some sort of wildlife, someone who works at like an ape sanctuary on?
This is what I'm saying. If you get 100 average people, like, I think it's a wrap. But if you get 100 of people that like they fight and kill things for a living, I don't know.
I'm also, you got to remember too,
Navy SEALs.
He's not an elephant just standing there. Apes, gorillas, like there's videos like obviously of them like watching people's like phones like at a zoo. Like they are very intelligent. They're strategic. And they're not going to just stand there. They're smart too.
But so are we. We're not going to just run and just get smacked. Yeah. We're not like
you literally said somebody's going to bite his Achilles. Like there's no way a human is going to latch onto his leg and make any.
The point I'm making is when you put a person in fight or flight mode, like they go a different level. There's a level of savagery that a human being. 100 human savages fighting for their life.
Well, I mean, Cameron just kind of stood there, so
I'm not going to be out there. That's just y'all got.
And you're not going to get a great photo, which is what I got.
Because I'm black.
Well, here's one other thought.
I don't care about that photo.
Yeah, I can find pictures of apes online. No big deal. I had this conversation with some friends one night about what is truly the apex predator. And one guy said silverback. We landed on polar bear. It came around to killer whale until we found a picture of a polar bear killing a killer whale. Polar bear, I put it way over 500. Way over.
But what's the fundamental difference between the claws?
Size. Polar bears are like thousands of pounds.
And claws.
Wait, they are. They are bigger than a silverback. I mean, I knew they were a little taller, but girth and muscle wise.
But again, and they have they can. The average is 600 to 1,200 pounds, but the largest can be over 1,700 pounds. We're talking 3 times the size, or twice the size of a silverback.
You can just distract them with a Coca-Cola bottle, and then
that's true. They're very susceptible to that. Yeah,
think smarter, not harder.
And I think they got muscle and blubber to absorb big silverback blows. Nothing's taken down a polar bear.
According to the internet, I just Googled polar bear versus silverback, not even a question because of the sheer size thing. 1,500 pounds versus 500 pounds. Yes, the gorillas are strong, but the polar bears like claws and aggressiveness. And
what if we had some sort of sick battle of the species where it's like a polar bear versus 5 silverbacks versus 500 men cage match? Now we're talking.
I think that's what the Romans did in the Colosseum.
Yeah, I don't think we come out on top on that one, guys.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying
500 Christians versus 500 polar bears versus 500 gorillas.
That was Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Hey, how about this? How about we just don't jump a polar bear or a gorilla, and we just stick to using ChatGPT for cool stuff, making AI stuff.
I guess.
Okay, I'm reading about this polar bear versus gorilla thing, and silverbacks are smaller than my memory, honestly. My memory was I was told this guy was 800 pounds. I think he was a big one, but they're typically around 500 pounds. Yeah. So that was probably an exaggeration. And polar bears literally are up to 1,700 pounds. That's a car.
I still like that Emily is right at the 500 men mark. That is a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just a horde. That's a horde.
1 pound for every person.
I'm recalibrating because there's 500-pound humans. I'm recalibrating here.
Oh, yes.
Okay. No. Let's talk about that.
I don't like their odds though against a silverback.
But a person who's 500 pounds is not going to be 500 pounds of pure muscle.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen Andre the Giant? I mean, he's not pure muscle, but he's a fighter.
No, but I've seen my father.
There's 100 people.
Yeah.
Not just 1-on-1, 100 people.
But 500 pounds of muscles like ramming you, you're dead.
Yeah,
like you're not going to pop back up.
I don't think this is a weight thing. I think it's a lot of it about speed and tactics.
I think it's numbers. It's speed and numbers. It's like
100 men. If a silverback's 500 pounds, 100 men for sure.
Here, let me ask you a question. Let's reframe this, right? We're gonna reframe this
because a 500 is a horde of men.
Let's 500 is a horde at that point. Let's reframe this, okay? Let's take who's an amazing fighter.
Yeah,
Conor McGregor
or John Jones. Let's take with
Conor
John
McGregor.
Jones.
Let's say John Jones, top of the food chain, amazing fighter. Let's take 100 16-year-old wrestlers, and who wins? John Jones.
They're easily taking down 100 wrestlers are taking down John Jones.
100 16-year-old high school wrestlers up against John Jones.
Yeah. 10 would, I think, because they would if they jumped him at the same time for sure.
We're saying 100.
100 would destroy John Jones.
So we're saying 100 John Jones versus a 500-pound gorilla.
Yeah, they're hey, when I read facts and not fiction that silverbacks are between 450 and 550 pounds, 100 men absolutely could take that down.
My Uncle Bubba's 410.
That's what I'm saying.
Of pure muscle, though. Listen,
the Florida Gators offensive lineman was 470 pounds. He just got drafted in the NFL, biggest player ever drafted. I'm telling you, throw him in the mix. He's going to wear him out by himself a little bit, and then we
theoretically, your first wave is just linemen sprinting as fast as they can.
Yes, and then you have your Conor McGregor after to do the eye punches.
Okay. So, but your first wave, let's say the first 30, are just NFL calendar linemen sprinting and lowering their shoulder and just trying to get a clean shot. Okay.
Yeah, but they're gonna suffer though. That's one thing about it is whatever that first wave is, regardless win or lose, that first wave is suffering.
Okay, and let's say so say 99 of them get knocked out and only one man lives, but he is the final one and he beats this gorilla. Are we saying that man won in that situation?
Yes
the 100 men beat the one gorilla. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on principle,
but it was a heavy cost.
I personally refuse to give in to men's delusion, so I'm still going to say that it would never happen. But I'll let y'all believe that y'all can fight a gorilla.
I'm just saying.
I think we came up with a tactic, and it involves a heavy wave of NFL calendar linemen.
You try it, and you let me know how it goes, Jesse.
If there are 100 men who would volunteer for my little draft experiment that I could coach them, then I would.
What's the power team doing these days?
Yeah. They need some work.
We have a great show coming up for you today. Coming up later, we talk to world-famous primatologist Jane Goodall. She's joining us today, right after Gracie Binion, who actually is joining us today. We also have Relevant Buzz coming up after this break. And at the end of the show, another edition of One Has to Go. Well, maybe it should all just be a list of men who will fight the gorilla. And we have to
we're down to the last
curate
100.
it to the best. Yeah, one has to go. We're just going to
Top
name
100
names.
men.
Yes. That's a totally different list, Emily. Your top 100 men is a different list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just FYI.
All right, how about this? The last 100 sexiest men alive who are in reasonably good shape.
Well, that's 100 years, isn't it? So you have like really old men.
Well,
is it
no,
one
this
a year?
would be them at their prime.
Yeah, it's
so
one a
this
year.
is like,
George
Pierce
Clooney at his
Brosnan,
prime.
Yeah, at like 30.
George Clooney.
He's not a fighter. If you're the sexiest man alive, you're a lover, not a fighter. You know what I mean? You moisturize.
Amen.
500 of the sexiest men alive.
500 of yes.
500 of the current sexiest men alive.
Yes.
Versus one silverback. How do we feel about that?
We're in trouble.
100% it's going to be the gorilla.
It's the gorilla for sure.
Not a chance.
Well, the sexiest men are all lubed up and moist, and like they use moisturizer and stuff.
I hate
like
every word that just came out of your mouth.
I would love to have some serious like zoologist or someone who studies wildlife. Hey, thanks for coming on. We're not going to get into this ridiculous internet debate about the 100 men versus a gorilla. We did want to ask you, though, if we had the 500 sexiest men on the planet right now and they fought the same gorilla, how do you feel about their odds?
And she's going to say, how much do they moisturize? Because that'll tell me if they're a lover or fighter.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. All right.
I just hate that word. I hate that word. That word is retire it.
Okay. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Relevant Buzz. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
Okay, well, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but it's kind of been like the month of Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jelly Roll, he would be one I'd put in the mix.
I'd put Brandon Lake in there.
I agreed. This is a duo that could do some damage.
Well, maybe they can sing their song Hard Fought Hallelujah as their...
No, at the end of the fight, that's the victory song. That was a hard fought hallelujah.
Oh, that's what the song is about, is fighting a gorilla. Okay, now this all makes sense. No, their song Hard Fought Hallelujah has been having some big moments in the mainstream, not in a gorilla cage match, unfortunately. We talked about it a few weeks ago. They were on American Idol performing, but within the last week, they performed the song on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which was Brandon Lake's first late night appearance.
All right.
They crushed it. We can actually play a little snippet of the performance if you guys want to hear it.
Here you go.
Till it's been through the fire. Oh, my head, heart, and hands are feeling heavy. That's when I lift them just a little higher. I bring my hard been through hell. Hallelujah.
Hey, two cool dudes making it happen. I love it.
And mainstream too. I mean, there's no bigger stages than the ones they're on right now.
I'd actually
Yeah.
pretty aggressively talk them out of that gorilla thing we just talked about. I don't want them involved in it. We can't risk losing that kind of talent.
Yeah, we can't. Jelly Roll's a national treasure. We can't put him up against a gorilla.
Even Final Wave, I'm not comfortable with it.
They're not even a Final Wave guys, just coming in for the victory.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're at the performance. They'll perform
No,
this.
maybe in the 500 scenario, but
Again, but towards the end. No, well, after Jimmy Kimmel later that weekend, Jelly Roll, he was a headliner at Stagecoach, and he brought Brandon out again on stage, and so they did like a surprise performance at Stagecoach. And what was really cool is Brandon actually posted some behind the scenes pictures and videos, but one of the videos he posted, Jelly Roll had asked him to lead a prayer for all of the special guests and the crew before the performance. And so I appreciate that even in these spaces that aren't particularly Christian, they're still like bringing God in a really cool way.
I love it.
Brandon posted too, like he's getting some flack from his worship fans that like, why are you out in the secular world? You know, that's corrupt. Mm-hmm. And he's like, his response was really beautiful. He's like, well, number one, like we're just glorifying God on these stages. But two, he's like, you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Like God is really doing something. And what I love is like, Brandon's like going to be like kind of the one Christian in that green room. And if I'm an artist who's kind of isolated and whatever, and I have some, I don't know, I'm going through it or whatever, like there's probably a lot of like connection that's happening for Brandon, people opening up to him, befriending him, talking about God. I just think it's like really cool that God's using him, not just on stage, but apparently behind the scenes too. Some cool things are happening. So
I feel like this happens every 4 or 5 years that a Christian artist breaks through.
Yeah. Like Lauren Daigle.
They build their fan base in Christendom and then they break through and then the fan base turns on them because, you know, we live in a society, especially when it live in a society like cater to us. So it's like, but the thing is that what I've learned or what I've seen that Brandon Lake is doing that's a little different. What I've seen different iterations of this is that he's not really changing his message at all. You know, a lot of times what happens is these guys, they blow up and then they change the whole message, the whole thing, why people love them. But you're watching Brandon like lean into it and he's like bringing people into the faith journey, which is, I think that's cool because the online community is as a lot of people have rallied behind them. But it's like, guys, we got to stop anytime a Christian isn't in a church criticizing them and doing all these different things. It's like that doesn't make the church look good. It doesn't make you look good. But then I also say this at the same time, I don't think that's the majority of people. Like the people that's giving them flack, that's a very small minority of people that have a certain perspective on life. I don't think that's the general opinion of most rational people.
I mean, the Bible does, the Great Commission does say, go into all the world, make disciples, be light in the darkness. I mean, like, it's kind of tough to do that if you only shop at Christian bookstores and listen to Christian music and have Christian friends and go to church and go to Christian school and that's it. Like
Stagecoach is part of all the world. Yeah.
All right. That's a small, passionate group of people.
Yeah.
That they have a very narrow view of what God has called us to do. Mm-hmm. But I think the average person that sees what's happening with Jelly Roll and Brandon Lake are extremely excited and happy about it. So.
Yep.
And we're part of the group that's happy about it. So
for sure.
To be clear.
I'm going to be picketing outside, but not about the Christian stuff. It'll be that 100 men can beat one group.
Yes.
That'll be what I'll be
people
picketing
need
outside
to know if there's strategy to this thing. It's very doable.
I'll be picketing outside about it.
Jesse, you have access to like military guys. You should ask the military strategist what the strategy would be.
Oh, I mean, I guarantee you they would come up with something pretty. They would be able to come up with something. I would have a high degree of confidence.
Again, I've totally flipped. Knowing that they're 500 pounds, not 850 pounds, like no question. No question. We can take them.
Okay, moving on. Okay, you guys know that animated Jesus movie starring Oscar Isaac called King of Kings came out a few weeks ago.
Forrest Whitaker was in it.
Forrest Whitaker's in it. Yeah, it's a pretty big cast. So it has officially become the highest grossing Korean movie ever released, beating out Parasite, which won the Oscar for Best Picture back in 2019.
Wow.
So a Christian.
Let's get it.
Animated
so this
movie.
Should be up for an Oscar, right?
I don't. I'm not on the Oscar committee, but we can put that on a picket. If it beat
Parasite, it should definitely be up for an Oscar, right?
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
If it's not,
it should be.
That's why the Fast and Furious franchise have won so many Oscars. You know?
Yeah. Minecraft is blowing the doors off right now. The Oscars.
It's the number one
contender. By the way, I went and saw that. It was a very rowdy movie theater experience. I know everyone loves the chicken chop. I understood none of the references. I've never played Minecraft one time, but it was very loud in there, and it just made me appreciate that there's still really weird movie experiences that you can go to and just see people scream for no reason. I loved it.
I'm not gonna lie. It seems as movies may be coming back, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the energy in there.
I think we're coming back.
When we were in New York this weekend, Cohen and one of his friends, I got them tickets to see episode 3 of Star Wars got re-released. And the tickets were insanely expensive. But I was like, well, that's an experience for the guys to see a movie in Times Square at a big movie theater. You know, it'd be cool. So it also happened to be during the Magic Boston game. So I went across the street and watched the Magic Boston game while watched the movie. So it worked out perfectly. Anyway, it turns out, the reason why the tickets were so expensive is they were 4DX seats. They move around. They spray water on you. They blow air on you, like all this kind of stuff. So they were talking about like this was the most incredible movie experience of their life. They were like, and they said too, like you said, a live theater experience, Jesse. It was like opening night, packed theater, these crazy. So people are dressed up, they're cheering, and they just said it was like the best movie experience they've ever had. So I agree with you, Derek. I think movies might be making a little bit of a comeback.
Coming back, man. Sinners, like a lot of people that I've talked to, like the movie Sinners, I've not seen as much excitement over original IP as I have around that and Minecraft, like and even the new Thunderbolts movie that's coming out. I got a lot of people that are excited about seeing that.
Fantastic Four looks like it'll be good. I mean,
movies are coming back.
I'm ready for the original IP though. Like I love the Marvel stuff. Obviously, y'all know I'm a Marvel guy. Love the video game stuff, but what excites me is like if we can get more Sinners type movies that people are excited about. Tell better stories. Shout out to my boy Prop. You know what I mean?
Okay, but also go see King of Kings because apparently it's doing really great in the theaters.
Also, we found out when we posted this news that it's a Korean film. I had no clue. So
that too.
I thought it was an Angel Studios film, and obviously most animation is done overseas. So I was like, you know, they would have outsourced the animation to a studio in Korea. That doesn't make it a Korean film. No, it was a Korean studio doing this Jesus movie. They're the ones who signed Oscar Isaac and Forrest Whitaker and stuff. Crazy. And it's their production. And then Angel Studios swooped in and like this past December and picked up the U.S. distribution for it. But it's a Korean film through and through. So very cool. And I'm glad they found success with it because maybe there'll be more.
Next thing I want to talk about, if y'all remember last year, No Big Deal entered NPR's Tiny Desk contest and he won the Fan Favorite Award, got a lot of love. Well, he entered again this year and he's already getting some love from the judges. He submitted his song Imago Interlude, which we'll play for you in a second. But like I said, the judges are loving it. They selected it as a top shelf video, which is just their version of saying it's like one of their favorites. And it's up for the Fan Favorite vote again this year. So here's No Big Deal.
Politicians' tools can't pledge allegiance to a system feeding off of food. Christian music, a music that Christians use. I looked for Jesus and I didn't see him on the news. Saw him in Palestine, the power lines were out of juice. He was a 9-year-old, her body had been battered, bruised. Saw him in Zion to a missile through a tattered roof. A father clinging to his child, pleading out to you. Saw him in Kiev and Moscow, the bleeding won't stop now. The cop in the black body, he shot down. Christian music, a music that Christians use. Look for Messiah, I couldn't find him in interviews. Sitting in silence, I felt an ancient pool. He said to be Samaritan to every single Jew.
Nothing better than hip hop with live bands.
Yeah, nothing better. And he got some of the coldest. My boy Adrian Taylor on bass. Like he got some Nashville players in there. So I love it. This is I hope he wins. I hope he gets a chance to actually go on the Tiny Desk and represent Nashville well, man.
And go on the tour too. Like I think the winner goes on the national tour, and like it'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Do it.
So go vote for him. He's like you can vote for No Big Deal right now. Is it closed?
Voting closed yesterday, so they're gonna announce the winner this month, both for the Fan Favorite and the overall winner. But like I said, he's in like the top 50 selections, so like he's got a good shot.
Do it, bro.
Yeah, I think I love it.
If he wins, it'd be a big deal.
Be a big deal.
Yes, it would.
I bet he loves that joke.
Yeah.
He has to accept it for this one. No big deal. Winning Tiny Desk would be a big deal.
Big deal.
That's our headline.
Yeah.
That's our headline. Big deal, no big deal. No, that sound like we're saying big deal.
I think you should say big deal, comma, no big deal. Yeah.
It's a big deal we'll figure it out. But definitely when he wins,
guys,
that pun will be in the relevant headline.
What's the next one, Emily? Save us.
Okay, I will move on to the very last thing I have, which is an interesting new study from Date Psychology, which found that 45% of men ages 18 to 25 never have asked someone out face to face.
What kind of
What's
date?
the age range?
18 to 25.
18 to 25-year-olds. They text or DM.
Yeah,
like you want to go out. It's not that they're not going on dates. They just don't ask in person.
Gotcha.
They're asking out online. And the researchers pointed to a few familiar suspects. There's social anxiety, fear of rejection, but a lot of it is just because digital communication is how most young people communicate these days. They're not talking face to face. And so it just kind of comes up more naturally through texting. But I wanted to bring this up because I did want to ask y'all, do y'all have any tips for any young men out there who want to ask someone out face to face?
I don't know if I would say it's tips. I do not like digital communication of any kind. I prefer, other than Zoom, which is basically, or Riverside or whatever. I feel like you're looking at people then. I'll occasionally do a phone call, because at least that's voice to voice. There's some humanity. Written digital communication, I'm just not a fan of. I feel like, here's the thing. When you're asking somebody out, inflection is important,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like you want to be somewhat charming, and I could say something that I think is funny, but if I wrote it down and you read it the wrong way, I could look like a monster, right? Like, I feel like,
what are you saying?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I could say, if I texted someone, do you think the 100 sexiest men alive could beat a silverback gorilla? It'd probably be pretty weird in a text. But if I called them and said it, they would probably laugh, right?
The 500 sexiest.
I'm just saying some things get lost in text. Okay.
Sure.
That would be my thing. Is like, don't you want to be?
Wait, Walter, why are you texting a girl about sexy men? That's not you.
Why are you asking her that question?
That's your pickup line. I'm one of the men that could fight these gorillas.
I'm saying if it had to be, I would think I'd have a better chance face to face because you see that with like a smirk that I'm not serious. If it came across that text, I'd be like, what is this psychopath?
Just do what y'all been doing. Don't get no advice from us. We go steer you down the wrong path. Bro, just do what you was doing.
I think I've made my case clearly about how you should be asking women out, and it's with that exact question, just face to face. And I think you'll have a date on your hands,
or you'll be humiliated and scarred for life.
Don't listen to anything that Jesse just said. Don't do it. Just stay in your bubble and just text. That's how you used to.
You asked for my advice.
Do it.
That's on me. That's on me. I've learned.
Yeah. All right. Well, make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com for more stories like that. Thanks, Emily. Stay tuned. Up next, Gracie Binion joins us. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose The Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold.
Well, today on the show, we're joined by Gracie Binion. She's an indie worship artist who's already collaborated with artists like Elevation Rhythm and is heading out on tour this month. She talked to us about her fight to create a pure, authentic worship space and how she's carving out her own path in the Christian music scene. Here's our conversation with Gracie Binion.
Well, you started your musical career at 15, which is pretty young to get into the industry. How did that happen?
So I'm a Nepo baby. I'm a nepotism baby. I started songwriting at a very young age. My dad's a songwriter, a piano player, and a singer. My mom's a phenomenal singer. They traveled in ministry, leading worship their entire marriage, my dad even before that. So it was always just a part of our life and a part of our family, and there was never a doubt in my mind. Like, since I was 3, I wanted to be a singer. So I knew that was like, I would annoy my family singing all the time in the house, making up little songs, right? Like performing for everybody. That was like my thing growing up. And I have 2 brothers, and neither of them are that way. I think maybe it's because I'm like the only girl or what, but I loved being the center of attention as a little 4-year-old and like dancing for my family. But my brother loved to read, so we would always go to Barnes & Noble, and I would go to the journal section every time and buy a new like songwriting journal. And I remember I had this one, you know, the ones with like recycled paper, so they like look old. I had one like that, and it had this like cloth exterior, and I just remember like filling it out completely with songs, like stupid songs about butterflies and stuff. But I wrote songs all the time. Like, that's what I was doing in my room as a little kid. I wasn't like, I mean, yeah, I'd play with dolls and stuff, but like half the time I was like writing songs. And when I was 9, I watched a Taylor Swift documentary. Okay. And I got inspired, and I was like, I'll be right back. And I go in my parents' room for like 10 minutes, and I came out with this like little pop song called Be Mine. And my dad, for the first time, realized that it wasn't just like this cute little thing that I did where I would like journal little songs. Like, I could actually write a song. It was decent for a 9-year-old. So, yeah, my parents started investing in that gift at that time, and like just investing their time. And like, I started doing little like talent conventions and stuff like that at a young age. And I wanted to do all of it. I wanted to be a little actress and, you know, all the things. But I kept writing, and, you know, my parents being in the industry had a lot of friends who were either like up and coming, like new producers, or like my dad mentored a lot of younger guys who were getting into production. And so some of those guys helped like produce demos and tracks for me for my songs at like 9 and 10. So I had a very unfair advantage coming into this. But I wrote a lot of pop songs, started getting in writing sessions at 11 years old with people in California, having meetings with like people over at like the Disney offices and stuff like that. And then when I was 13, I never signed any contracts or anything like that. I was a kid and I was just enjoying the process and writing. When I was 13, I decided Disney wasn't cool. And and I decided to write worship music. I was on my youth worship team at my church and the kids worship team before that, just singing. And I had some older friends who were writing worship music, and one friend in particular, I started writing songs with her, some worship songs. And yeah, like 13, 14, we just kind of kept writing. When I was 15, a man named Mike Murray, he's amazing. I love him. He used to work in Integrity Music. He reached out to me, actually reached out to my dad on my behalf when I was 15, because my parents were signed, their team at Covenant Church, they were signed to Integrity at the time. So I guess Mike had heard that I had been writing songs. I ended up signing a development deal with Integrity at 15.
And now you're an independent artist. So what changed for you?
I kind of developed this disdain for the idea of selling worship. And I started kind of reevaluating what I do and why I do it. And to elaborate on selling worship, to me, it felt in my heart, I know worship leaders who make a living off of leading worship, and they do it so purely, and they're doing what the Lord's asked them to do. For some reason in my heart, it felt wrong to be making a profit off of something that was supposed to be a sacrifice at this time. And that's still something that I feel I wrestle with and I think about daily as to how can I approach this and do this the right way, in the pure way. But it made me reevaluate how I want to do this whole thing. And for a while, I just didn't really want to anymore. And the idea of doing live worship was just it just feels wrong to do that just to make a living, and to do that and then sell it and have people pay for it. And so when I was 20, had this dream of someday I would love to release a live worship album completely free. Kind of how U2 did that thing on iTunes years ago where their album was downloaded on everyone's phones. Which to me was weird. I didn't understand, but now I'm the ability to create a sacrifice for the Lord and be able to just release it for free. But then I also kind of reevaluated what worship is to me. And I went through a ministry school program out here in Tennessee, and kind of just reevaluated my relationship with the Lord and how my entire life is worship, and art I create is worship. It's not just what I do on a stage. It's not just what I lead people in. It's the art I create, I'm creating with him. The music I write, I'm writing with him. And it's a process. Just because it's not something you would corporately sing in a church doesn't mean that the act of it was not worship. I find that the songs I write too lean more creative rather than something that's understood corporately or that would be accepted corporately, so it was just kind of this natural thing of we're writing a project. This is an artist project. It's not necessarily a live worship project, which really, it was just so natural. And I think that was intentional on the Lord's part. And I think it all came out how it was supposed to come out.
Do you still wrestle with the tension between being a worship leader and, needing to pay the bills?
Yeah. And honestly, I feel I'm sure everyone is, or everyone has at some point, because it's such a weird thing to balance. But I think you have to walk in that tension in order to do things with a pure heart, in order to go and lead worship at a church and get paid for it. In order to do that with the right heart behind it, you have to go into that. In my opinion, at least for me, it feels helpful to my heart behind it to know that there's people out there doing this for a check, and that cannot be me. I think I will probably continue to wrestle with it. I think it'll look different than being do I want to do this? Because I know the Lord's asked me to, and I know that's an assignment on my life, and I'm going to. I just want to go about doing it the right way, prioritizing my relationship with the Lord and how my character is represented to people and how I'm representing Jesus to people. I think I have to prioritize that over like how many jobs I say yes to, or, you know, things like that.
You mentioned something earlier about being a woman in the industry, and I feel like I've noticed there seem to be more male worship leaders than female worship leaders. And I'm curious, why do you think it's that way?
That's a great question. I don't know that I've found the answer. And I could come up with a lot of things that would probably sound political or like, you know, I don't know, however it could sound. I don't know the why. I mean, I think, of course, men have been in the lead for a long time, and I think it just takes a while to catch up. But I will say, I think the reason why it's hard for women to come to a level standing ground is the fact that I was talking with a friend about this the other day. Being a woman in the industry, you get told no a lot, or you get told that you don't actually know what you want to do or how you want to sound. Like, in my experience, sharing like my musical like inspirations as far as like a sound that I like a more rock sound, like an edgier, more alternative sound. And every time I would share that, it felt very dismissed. I would share with producers very directly, like, this is what I want this to sound like. And in my heart and in my head, I knew what I wanted it to sound like, and it always came out sounding very pop. And I think that's because my voice, I have a very pure tone to my voice. My voice sounds a very specific way. And I think they just assumed that they knew what was best, instead of just trusting that I want to make this because I want to make it, and I'm the artist, and I want to create this. I think a lot of women have that shared experience. The friend I was talking with has had very similar experiences of being told, like, no, you should change this about this song, or you should change, like, especially from labels, being told, like, this song needs to sound a different way. You can't put that lyric in there, or this needs to be the title. And it's like we're being told to portray ourselves a certain way, or that we can't do things because we don't actually know what we want. And then I hate using like terms like this because they're such like trigger words these days, but like being gaslit into into believing that, like, oh, maybe I actually don't know what I want to sound like or what I want to do, you know? And you start to believe that, and you just let yourself get pushed down. I think it takes a very, very strong personality as a woman to be successful and to actually push and create what you want to create, rather than what would make sense in the industry to create.
You're so much better than I was, Jesus. The only one who satisfies, Jesus. The only one who...
That was Gracie Binion. Make sure to check out her tour, which kicks off this weekend. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's One Has to Go. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's Soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Okay, it's time for
One Has to Go.
I still haven't done a new jingle yet. I got to do that. All right, One Has to Go. It's our new game that we've been playing this past month, where I just list 4 things. You tell me one has to go. Tell me why. All right, you're up first, Jesse. You still are you still thinking about the sexy men fighting gorillas?
Picture this: 500 incredibly sexy men. Not only that, they're in fact the 500.
All the Hollywood Chris's.
Timothy Chalamet, all of them.
They are the 500 sexiest among us.
Are you talking like Fabio, like male models, or are you talking celebrities that have been picked by People magazine?
Tyson Beckford.
Yeah, there would be some objective panel that would, scour humanity and make the selection.
Got it.
They're in one corner. This is how I start my text. Then I do ... In the other corner, ... Enraged silverback gorilla, where would you like me to take you on Friday night? And praying hands, heart emoji.
100% success rate. Love it.
You're welcome, Gen Z.
You don't know unless you try. So somebody try it out and let us know how it worked out.
Send us a screenshot of how that goes.
Exactly. All right, Jesse. Pope Francis, Pope John Paul II, Pope Benedict XVI, and Peter. One of these popes has to go.
Well, I would probably say Benedict, just because he wasn't in that long. He tapped out early, Yeah. So I guess that'd who I'd have to go with.
Again, have we clarified where these people are going? Because we say
no.
Right, are they going to get to sit on the bench, or are we just
they're drafted
just out of lineup?
They're drafted into the 500 lineup.
DNP did not play. Or is
exactly. Yep.
To lunch. Right. They're sent to lunch. Yeah.
Derek, Nike Dunks, Adidas Sambas, New Balance 550s, or Converse Chucks. One has to go.
Hey, get them Chucks out of here.
All right. Jesse, weren't you in a Chuck phase for a long time when you were emo?
I've always had
Vans
Chucks.
and Chucks.
I've always owned Vans and Chucks. I would go with the New Balances there.
They're cool
New
again
Balances,
though.
Them New Balances, nasty.
They come and go. You really have to pull them off, or Sambas. Unless you're a soccer player,
exactly.
I don't feel like you.
Ooh,
unless you're an actual soccer player on
I
Sambas.
just bought Sambas.
You can get rid of them too.
Sambas.
Just give me the Dunks and the 550s.
Yep. Good. All right, Emily, 10 things I hate about you, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, The Proposal, or Crazy Stupid Love. One has to go.
I knew you were going to give this one to me. Okay.
I wasn't going to give it to Derek.
Because I was going to say get rid of all of them.
Wow. You're going to get rid of some of the greatest movies in cinematic history. That's crazy.
Yes, I
okay.
am.
10 Things I Hate About You, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Crazy
The
Stupid
Proposal,
Love.
Crazy Stupid Love. Yep.
It's got to be The Proposal.
What?
Okay. 10 Things I Hate About You, generally one of the greatest movies of all time. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is my favorite rom-com. Crazy Stupid Love has, I'm not kidding, look me in the eyes, guys, one of the greatest plot twists in cinema history. It is so good. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it's so good.
I haven't seen it. Wow.
Well, you're missing out.
I love a good rom-com. I mean, I grew up on You've Got Mail and Sleepless in Seattle.
Classics. Love them.
Right.
I'm a rom-connoisseur, okay? So I have the authority on this.
My favorite thing about 10 Things I Hate About... How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is...
The magazine job.
It's that...
Why do you guys think I'm a journalist? Because of Andy Anderson.
That someone can have a job at a magazine, get an assignment that is like a month-long assignment. Let's forget the ethics of this for a minute, that they're just going to toy with someone. But they have the budget to pay one of their writers to basically produce a 2-page listicle, like one spread listicle. And it's just a month of work. Total like 700 words.
Right.
That idea of an editorial budget, I've always enjoyed.
And imagine my shock when I joined the magazine world, and that is not how things are run.
Nope. In that month, you're producing about 50 articles, so not one.
Yeah.
And not one date with the hot Matthew McConaughey.
I just had an epiphany that it's not that I haven't watched any rom-coms. I just haven't watched the white ones.
Exactly.
Because the Wood, Jason's Lyric, like all of those joints, Poetic Justice, I just realized, I just had an epiphany right now that those were rom-coms.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Love and Basketball, great one.
Love and Basketball.
Just Right. I love Queen Latifah.
Oh my!
Your best friend's wedding, or
Best
man,
Man.
the best man.
Yeah, the best
Man's
man.
Holiday.
What was the joint with the Steve Harvey joint that he did with Kevin Hart in it? Like, oh my God, that's crazy.
These rom-coms.
It's two Americas, bro. That's crazy.
All right, Jesse. 2025 TV shows: Paradise, The Pit, 1923, or Severance. One has to go.
I haven't watched most of those. What are, say them again?
Paradise, which is unbelievable. The Pit, the medical drama on Max, which is apparently very realistic.
Yeah.
1923, the new Harrison Ford.
Yeah. The Sheridan
Yellowstone
one.
spin-off.
Yeah, and then
and Severance.
I would say The Pit, just because I don't like medical TV shows.
Yeah, it's just very stressful.
Yeah, exactly. Too stressful, too gross sometimes. Not into it.
That one is a really interesting premise, though, because it's every episode, like the whole season follows one shift. And so every episode is like 1 hour of the shift.
It's a 24-day in an ER, and there's a mass shooting in the middle of that day.
Yeah, I
so that's the entire season.
Yeah, it's too stressed out for me. You know, I don't.
Wait a minute. The whole season is one mass shooting?
One day. It's a 24-hour period, so it's consecutive 24 episodes, and it makes up one full day. Yeah. It's a brilliant concept.
I think it's 12 hours, but yeah.
12, sorry, 12 hours.
So each episode is an hour of what went on in that day because of that mass shooting.
Yeah. Yep. It was just like, it starts out like it's a normal ER shift and then a shooting happens, so it turns into a crazy ER shift, and that's the series. So
they really go into the details of what's happening in that day, as opposed to just like, okay, let's wrap this mass shooting up in the episode. Okay.
And what was different about it, number one, medical experts talked about this is the most realistic medical drama we've seen as far as like this is what we experience. Two, it focused more on the doctors than the patient. So stuff like Grey's Anatomy was about the new patient that enters for this episode, and it was their story, and the doctors were side. This is about the doctors, the stress they're going through, the budget fights of the actual hospital, the trauma care, they're understaffed, they don't have enough supplies, like all this kind of stuff that the doctors really deal with. So apparently it's pretty accurate, which is why I don't want to watch it, because it sounds stressful.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, Mario Kart, Halo, Legend of Zelda, or The Sims? Classic video games.
Oh, I know. Mario Kart,
Halo, Zelda, or The Sims?
Sorry, Sims, you gotta go.
Yeah.
No. Oh, my friends and I loved Sims. We were psychotic, and we would make the Sims do crazy situations. But I loved Sims when I was in middle school.
I same thing, but I'm not getting rid of Zelda. Zelda was just I'm not getting rid of Zelda.
Somebody, like, there was a post going around, and it was like, it just said, like, do you have to feed the babies, or do they just grow on their own? And everybody started freaking out, like, you should not be a parent. And then you could see the little breadcrumb is a Reddit thread about The Sims, and the person was just asking, do you have to feed the babies, or do they just grow up on their own?
Well,
anyway,
do we know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, last one, Emily. Oceans by United, How He Loves by David Crowder Band, Reckless Love by Corey Asbury, or Good Good Father by Chris Tomlin. One has to go.
Ooh, all bops. Okay, say them all one more time.
Oceans, How He Loves, Reckless Love, or Good Good Father.
This is going to be a little bit of a humble brag. I'm going to go with Good Good Father solely because I've talked to all the other people who wrote the other songs, and I have not talked to Chris Tomlin. No offense, Chris. If you get back to my emails, maybe I'll talk. But
all right, that'll do it for this week's edition of
One Has to Go.
Thanks again to Gracie Binion for joining us today. Make sure to check out her music on all the streaming platforms and see her on tour this month. It kicks off this weekend. Also, make sure to follow Relevant on all the socials. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Shorts, TikTok, Facebook. We're also posting stories now. It is a lot of work just to fill up all the places where you guys are. So make sure to follow us. We're at Relevant Magazine or at Relevant on all the platforms. Also, if you're not following, the Relevant Podcast has an Instagram account now too. It's at Relevant Podcast. We post clips from the show. We do polls. You can play One Has to Go with us. Make sure to follow Relevant Podcast on Instagram. Go check it out. And on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Emily Brown.
We'll see you next Friday. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Make sure to check out our coverage at the intersection of faith, life, and culture every day at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, don't miss our latest digital issue. Issue 116 features Nate Bargatze, Connor Price, and a lot more. And don't forget Relevant Plus. It's the best way to experience our content, including ad-free reading, an ad-free version of this podcast, and more. You can get all the info and sign up at relevantmagazine.com.
Even Final Wave, I'm not comfortable with it.
Relevant Podcast Network.